Okay guys, good day. This is Mr. Dehan San Ordinario. I'll be your instructor for the Fundamentals of Environmental Science, Module 1. I'll be handling EDUC, College of Education, blocks B.Ed 1, 2, and 3, and 4, as well as Marketing Management, Block 1, 2, and 3, and Financial Management Block 1 and 2. So this is our online video recorded recap for our modules that I have sent to you last week, so sa Google Classroom natin. So I'll be discussing things na para mas malinaw ng konti, So I'll be discussing at the Module 1. Welcome to Palawan State University online learning module. So this is Module 1 for Environmental Science. So as part of our overview, overview natin, environmental science is an interrelated field that covers the science of natural world, and it is a collaborative science that seeks the solution to the environmental problems. As we have discussed, or what you have read on your module sa ating module sa ating environmental science material, what comes first into your minds when you heard the word environmental science? Ano kaya yung una nating maiisip when we hear the word environmental science? So first off, mostly of my students, ang kanilang pagtingin sa environmental science is all about the forest, the natural world, the mountains, the trees, the oceans, the rivers. So that's one of the basic things na usually na sinasabi nila. And yes, that's right. Environmental science is a interrelated field, collaborative field, a multidisciplinary field of sciences. So it's a social perspective that looks at the human impact of the environment and appreciate the different roles of the society. When we say biology, when we say chemistry, we study physics, it's all under the natural world. And if we're studying the natural world, we are actually studying environmental science. So part of the overview is the introduction of the environmental science that shows interrelationship of these fields, science of other fields, and as well as matter and energy that is briefly discussed in the concepts behind the matter and energy and its changes. Another thing is the chapter about the population shows the characteristics and growth and distribution. And one thing also, part of this overview is hydrology. What do you think is hydrology? Hydrology is the study of the water and water cycle, water sources. Hydro means water, logos or logi meaning study. So this is study of water. And chapters on atmosphere, the topic about the ecosystem, the chapters about the soil. We're going to tackle the soil as well, and the human impact on the environment. We as humans are part of the animal kingdom. Part pa rin tayo ng environmental science. And sabi nga daw, humans are the stewards of nature. Or dito naman sa ating overview, ano yung impact ng human sa environment? So ito, human impact in the environment delivers the actions or humans towards the environment. Ano yung ating mga nagiging cause? Ano yung mga effects ng humans dito sa ating natural world? So another slide, learning outcomes. Our course code is GE, meaning General Education, Environmental Science. So the description of our course subject, and when we say the course, it's actually the subject, and the program that you're into is yun na yung B.Ed, meron na kayong BSBA or Marketing Management or Financial Management. Yan. So our course subject is environmental science. The description, the course deals with the fields that covers the sciences or science of the natural world, collaborative science that seeks solutions to the environmental problems. A social perspective that looks to human impact environment. Yan, yung kanina rin banggit natin. Ano yung mga learning outcomes? After going through this module, you are expected to, meron tayong 2 chapters. Chapter 1 natin, describe soil and its order, familiarize with the ecological process, understand Earth's atmosphere, and appreciate the role of clouds of the daily life, define the properties of water, and in chapter 2, we need to define, ito yung mga goals natin on after we finish this module. No? On chapter 2, students are expected to define the ecosystem. What do you think is the ecosystem? And describe the ecological succession, kung paano nagkakaroon ng succession sa ating environment, and illustrate the biochemical cycle, and lastly, familiarize the different ecosystems. So, content discussion. Here in this part, in Module 1, Earth System and Resources, Earth Science Concept, meron tayong atmosphere, global water resources, and its use, soil and soil dynamics, and the living world, the ecosystem structures, energy flow, and ecosystem diversity and natural biochemical cycle. Yan. So, alright. Let's proceed to our next slide. Okay? So, dito may nakalagay dito instruction. So, hi there. Welcome to the new normal of the educational platform of our institutions. You are advised to read chapter 1. So, dito sa instruction ito, you're advised to answer this and practice it. Ano? So, if you notice, the module has this things na pwede kang mag-practice or mag-try. So, yan. So, let's check out the first figure. So, let's try it out. What is your prior knowledge about the environmental science? So, for you, I assume you already tried it and practice it. Write down your comments or write down your thoughts down below. So, ito yung ating area na makapag-practice tayo. Kung ano ba yung una nating viewpoint of the subject or the course subject, environmental science. For you guys, what do you think? What is your prior knowledge about the environmental science? Okay. So, in chapter 1, it's introduction of environmental science. According to our module, it's a multidisciplinary science because it embraces countless branches of studies. Yun na nabanggit ko kanina. Life sciences, biology, chemistry, agriculture, public health, sanitary engineering, etc. It is a science of physical phenomena in the environment. Almost all things surrounding us is actually under the concept or under the study of environmental science. So this field of study comprises both applied and theoretical facets of human influences in the world. It converses the reactions, sources, transport, effect, and possibilities of biological activity that could also affect human environment and vice versa. Now, all this information does not, actually wala siyang weight sa atin, ano? Kapag hindi natin naiintindihan what is the main purpose, why we need to study this subject. So, what do you think is the importance of this? So, later on in our module, we can actually find ways on how to apply this information. Sabi nga, information without application is still information. So, if these informations are not applicable to your daily lives, it doesn't matter at all. So, let's check out what are the things that we can actually apply on our daily lives. Okay. So, before we proceed, let us check what are the components of environmental science. So, since environmental science is by nature interdisciplinary, it involves several components such as the study of biology, physics, earth sciences, chemistry, and social sciences. As a BEd student or as a marketing management and and BSBA. How would you apply environmental science in your field or in your program? So, it depends on how you see things, Sabi daw, the way you see things depends on how you look at it. So, that's a perspective. So, in components of environmental science, meron tayong apat. So, first off is atmospheric sciences. Atmospheric sciences. It is a broad field that deals with the study of atmosphere, its processes, the effects, the effects other systems have on the atmosphere, and the effects of the atmosphere on these systems. It covers the fields such as meteorology, climatology, and aeronomy. So, of course, meteorology is one good subject. Is it the study of meteors? No, it's the study of weather. Okay, meteorology is the study of weather and as well as climatology. So, atmospheric science is one of the component of environmental science. Atmosphere. Ano daw ba yung nagko-compose ng ating atmosphere? So, in the world that we're living in, so meron tayo syempre kung saan pwedeng mabuhay ang isang living thing. That's what you call the biosphere, diba? May mga areas. So, environmental science has this one component. The first of it as atmospheric sciences. Broad field that deals with the study of atmosphere. So, dito compose yung ating air. So, atmosphere. Number 2, ecology is a scientific study of relationship between the organism and the environment. This involves the diversity and distribution, amount or the biomass, and other populations and organisms. So, I assume you already took your quiz. I believe merong part doon ng quiz na nagtatanong that what is ecology. So, ecology is the scientific study of the relationship between organisms and their environment. This is actually the interrelationship between biotic and abiotic, meaning living and non-living things. If you're a living thing and you are, you're living in this environment, of course, your environment, it is composed of both living and non-living things. But the relationship between this living and non-living thing is what we call the ecology. Ecology comes from the Latin word oikos, meaning house, eco or oikos, house, logos meaning study. So the study of house, study of household, ecology. Yeah. So environmental chemistry, number 3, is a scientific discipline focused on chemical changes of the environment. And lastly, number 4, geosciences, is a study on Earth's crust, includes environmental geology, environmental soil, and volcanic phenomena, and in some classifications cover hydrology like oceanography. If you are an educ or education student, of course you need to go through the process of learning almost anything, kasi you're going to be teacher someday, okay? And you're going to be one of the knowledge providing individuals, diba? But how about if you're a BSBA, if you're marketing management course ninyo or ang field, and if you're financial management, sabi niyo, sir, napakalayo naman ang ating pinag-aaralan in terms of what we are going to be working on afterwards. Now, it's actually a need, we need to understand our environment so as we can actually give knowledge to other people. Remember, ideas are the ones we are getting paid of. Binabayaran tayo, sinisweldohan tayo because of the ideas that we put into our jobs, put into our workplace. So if you don't have any idea about it or at all, so your pay grade is going to be lower as expected. Anyway, so environmental ethics, proceed tayo. Meron daw mga things that we need to consider. What do we mean by ethics? The concept of ethics involves standards of conduct. So if you remember when you were an elementary grade level. Meron tayong tinatawag na GMRC or the good morals and right conduct. Ethics is one of it. Ethics is a branch of philosophy that is derived from the logical application of human values. So, if you're going to apply values on your specific field of interest, it's more likely in application of human values. Like, for example, the environment. If you're going to cut trees, if you're going to convert the rice fields into subdivision, di ba? So, ano ba yung mga ethics natin? Ano ba yung filosofiya natin? What do we mean by philosophy? Okay? Philosophy comes from the two words from Latin, philia and sophia, meaning love and wisdom. So philosophy is what you believe in. If your philosophy is like this or like that, that is what you believe in. So ethics is a branch of philosophy or a branch of belief system that is a logical application of what you value. Kung ano yung mga pinaniniwalaan mong tama at mali. The study of morality. Yan, ethics. So, sabi dito, these values are the principles that an individual or society considers important or worthwhile. So, if you think that your idea is important and worthwhile and you apply it in your workplace, that is your ethics. Okay? Ano yung pinaniniwalaan mong tama? Okay. So, I'll give you an example. Coastal ecosystems in the Philippines with its centuries-old coral reefs, magnificent underwater world, its small attractive river systems and streams, specifying the Puerto Princesa Underground River National Park, making it one of the most stunning tourist attractions. So, hindi na tayo lalayo, dito na tayo sa Palawan. Palawan is the last frontier of our country, the Philippines. So, let me ask you a question. What do you think is the most basic importance of the rainforest? What do you think? So rainforest, as what I have discussed in our module, rainforest is the lungs of our world. The largest rainforest is located in South America, and that is the Amazon rainforest. Ano yung pinakamalaking rainforest sa Pilipinas? Of course, Palawan is the wrong answer. Okay, the largest rainforest in the Philippines is sa north, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Sierra Madre. Okay. The Philippines, being a tropical rainforest, is rich in flora and fauna. Flora and fauna meaning, tama, I heard you guys. So, flora means plants and fauna means animals. And there is an estimated 2 million species of plants and animals, many of which are unique in the islands, especially dito sa Palawan. Palawan and Sierra Madre is one of the two main biodiverse areas of the country. So ito yung talagang diverse. Meaning, diversity is nagkakaroon ng evolution. So evolution takes place, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens through time. So, paano nangyayari itong diversity? Kapag ang ating area ay, ay favorable, sabi doon sa isang movie, if the area is favorable, the species of the organisms choose to procreate. If the area is unfavorable, they will choose to become immortal. So, if the area is suited for, procreation or pagpaparami, then it flourishes. So, attitudes towards these resources, which assumes the earth has infinite supply, is called frontier ethic. It is absolutely anthropocentric. So kung tayo tanong dito, let me ask you a question. What do you think is the most basic importance of rainforest? Rainforest is very important, most especially in converting carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases, more specifically the carbon dioxide, into oxygen. So it is actually converting our waste material as humans, as part of the animal kingdom or as part of the fauna, into usable oxygen. Diba? So it's actually a waste product na, but the rainforest is converting it to reusable once more. So by the aid of the sun and by the aid of photosynthesis, the sun's energy is converted into a usable form of energy. Diba? So that's actually one of the most important processes that happens in the planet Earth. So that's the process what we call photosynthesis. We actually owe it from the sun. The energy that we are using right now and the food that we are taking in into our body is actually coming from the sun itself. So, meron mga attitudes, kanina may ethics, ngayon naman may attitude, sustainable ethic. So, if you're looking at the bottom part of your module, may sinulat kami dito that teacher's take. According to our first lesson, we talked about the definition of environmental science. Sa inyong palagay, as a student, why do we need to discuss such topic katulad ng pangangalaga sa ating kalikasan? If humans like us just continue harvesting the resources of our nature, sa tingin ba natin magiging sustainable ang ating mundo? This is one of the reasons why we need to study and educate our community on how we can help protect the environment to sustain the future. Kanina tinatanong ko kayo, what is the reason, or it's gonna be boring, lalo na yung ating module is Courier New, yung ating font style, Courier New. So, napaka-boring ng module, but if you're going to ask yourselves once again, diba? Why do we need to study environmental science? Ask yourselves, what is the purpose of studying environmental science in your field, BSBA, or in your field, education, diba? So, that is to sustain the future. If you would imagine, diba, you burn all the oxygen and convert it to a waste product, carbon dioxide, and there is no such thing as rainforest anymore. Who's gonna convert it into usable oxygen, diba? So, next slide natin. 3 ethical perspectives: anthropocentric, biocentric, and ecocentrism. So, yan. Ano yung perspectives? Perspectives is what you think it is. Ano yung pagtingin mo sa isang bagay? O pagtingin mo sa isang bagay mahirap, pero sa ibang tao, ang pagtingin niya doon ay madali lang. It depends, on how you see it. Depends on how you see it. So, meron tayong tatlong glasses dito. Anthropocentric, human-centered. You're going to use all the resources of the world. Human-centered kasi. Gusto mo magnegosyo, kukunin mo yung mga lumber ng mga trees. Kung gusto mo magmina, kukunin mo yung mga minerals. This is human-centered. We're going to use the materials, the resources of the earth as long as we gain profit. Now, the number 2 perspective is biocentric. It is a belief that certain living things also has value, that all life has ethical standing. So, if you have taken your quiz already, diba? Ito na yun. Ecocentrism believes that nature deserves to exist for its own sake regardless of the degree of usefulness of human. Mas important daw yung ating environment kasi humans. Okay. If you're looking at the right side of your module, may trivia tayo dito. What do you see? What kind of picture of a tree? It's actually mangrove. That's actually a mangrove tree. Why would we pick the mangrove tree as our model tree? With the continuing drive to protect and maintain the ecological balance, a large number of organizations here and abroad had sprouted with only one goal, and that is to protect the environment, or environmental protection. So if you're familiar with WWF, that's actually the wrestling, and then the wrestling. That's the worldwide fund, yung merong logo ng panda. Kasi nga very rare yung panda. Anyway, yeah. The Worldwide Fund, siya yung nagpoprotekta sa environment. Isa ito sa mga NGO. What do we mean by NGO? What does NGO stands for? It's a non-government organizations that actually help other organizations. Yeah. So, environmental attitudes. But di pa natin na-explain yung mangrove. Mangrove is one of the very important part of the the trees or the flora. Bakit siya important? Mangroves actually, first off, mangroves help protect the shoreline para magkaroon ng, mapigilan niya yung mga waves na kainin yung shoreline. At pinoprotektahan niya tayo sa mas malalaking mga alon na sahampas doon sa ating mga aplaya. Mangroves actually is one of the very important trees because it is one of the very effective tree systems that is converting carbon dioxide into oxygen. Yan. So, environmental attitudes, development ethic, meron tayong preservation ethic, and number 3, conservation ethic. Yan. Ano ba yung attitudes? Ano yung difference ng attitudes doon sa perspectives? Ang perspectives, that's how you see things. Attitudes is how we act on it. Diba? Development ethic is based on individualism and egocentrism. It assumes that human race is and should be the master of nature. Ito, napakasakim itong number 1 attitude natin. Development ethic. We are focusing on the progress instead of the price that we are going to put into the environment. Number 2, preservation ethic. It considers the special value of nature. Unchanged nature should be protected for its own inherent value. So, kung familiar tayo, merong mga places na tinatawag natin protected. Mount Mantalingahan protected area, or actually the Buswanga, itong Kalawit Island, itong area na to is merong environmental protection. So sa Palawan, merong tinatawag na SEP or SEPLO. Siya yung nagpoprotekta sa ating environment. Kapag ikaw ay meron ng Republic Act at pinagkasunduan ng Kongreso na itulungan ang isang area protect, bawal doon manirahan ng tao kasi yun ay para sa flora and fauna lang. Yan. So baba tayo at the bottom part of your module. True or false? Haribon Foundation was coined from Haring Ibon or the Philippine Eagle. The answer is yes, true. So as part of your quiz, yan na yan. So dito magtatapos ang ating first part of our module 1. Your turn, self-assessment. I believe you already took your quiz na sa Google Forms, sa Google Docs na aking sinend sa inyo sa ating GC. So this is the practice area. No need to to answer it all. This is just a practice quiz lang yun na part dito sa module natin. Pero yung ating magiging quiz ay doon sa send ko sa inyo na link. Okay? So I believe itong ang video na ito ay ipopost ko na lang sa YouTube channel natin. Okay. So doon na lang tayo manonood para ma-check natin kung anong part ang pwede natin na-miss or Anyway guys, I'll see you on the next video. So I'll redirect you on the link na i-send ko sa inyo sa GCR sa inyong Google Classroom. So yeah. See you in the next video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Bye guys and good night.